Every time I see this man on television, it makes me ill. This is Ice-T. You may know him from Law and Order SUV, the crime drama. You may know him as a rapper. You may know him from the group Body Count. It's a rap metal group. Here he is on stage with Body Count with his wife Coco. And she performs a fake blowjob, and then he starts humping her later on. I'll spare you the pictures. Here he is on Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Here he is on his reality show on E! Entertainment Television, or whatever it's called, E! Ice Loves Coco. And at one time, the E! channel had Ice-T and Coco, Chloe and Lamar, and Kendra on top. You don't need me to explain to you the common thread between these three shows. Now let's look into his background a little, shall we? His real name is Tracy Morrow. Hi, Tracy. Now we know why you're called Ice-T. Yo, my name is Ice-T. What does the T stand for? None of your business. Now let's look at Tracy's early life. Tracy Morrow, son of Solomon and Alice Morrow, born in New Jersey. His father was black. His mother, Alice, was Creole, which means she was mostly white. So, he could be white, he could be black, whatever he decides, whatever suits his purpose. In 1975, at the age of 17, Morrow began receiving Social Security benefits resulting from the death of his father, who was a thief. And he used the money to rent an apartment for $90 a month. He sold cannabis and stole car stereos for money. So that's where it ended up. He was in a group that had been charged with the theft of a rug, and while awaiting trial, he received a $2,500 bonus check and decided to go AWOL, and returned a month later after the rug had been returned. Then he was punished, became interested in hip-hop music. Somebody taught him how to be a pimp, and he did become a pimp. He pimped out prostitutes, and then he was discharged from the honorable discharge from the army because he's a single father. So in other words, he was completely worthless in the military. And then he said, using combat skills allegedly acquired in Ranger School, he used it to rob banks. So then it's nice that he was in our military, and that's how he used the skills he learned. And he became a successful rapper and an actor, but he said, I can't act. I really can't act. I ain't no rapper. It's all game. I'm just working these niggas. Well, I agree with him on that one. Anyway, here he is on Sesame Street. He's really hardcore. The fact is, this man is a hypocrite and a sellout. Here's why. First of all, back in the early 90s, Ice-T was in an auditorium speaking to a group of black people, and it was a Q&A session, and a black person got up and asked him a question, and he said, Ice-T, you're saying that black people cannot be successful in America because of racism, but what about Clarence Thomas and Colin Powell? And Ice-T's response was, yo man, those are the exceptions. Yo Republicans, suck my dick. In other words, white people are so evil and horrible that black people cannot succeed, so you might as well pin all of your hopes on playing ball or being a criminal or being a rapper. But anyway, for Body Count, the rap metal band he was in the early 90s, he put out a song called Cop Killer, where he fantasizes about killing cops in revenge for police brutality. Cop killer, I know your mama's grieving, fuck her. So in other words, I'm going to kill cops randomly, and it doesn't matter that their family's grieving, he doesn't care. So he advocates killing cops, which is especially relevant now since those 5 cops allegedly died in Dallas. I suppose it's real, but anyway. But a few years later, starting in 2000, he plays Finn on Law & Order Special Victims Unit. So he takes all this money, millions of dollars a year, portraying a cop. Yet he put out Cop Killer, supporting the murder of cops. I wonder who hired Tracy to be on Law & Order Special Victims Units. Special Victims Unit. Let's check it out. All right. It was created by Dick Wolf, and Dick Wolf hired Ice-T. He hired Tracy to be on the show. So let's look at Dick Wolf's background. Let's look at him. What the heck is that? Anyway, Richard Anthony, Dick Wolf. He was born in New York City. His father was Jewish. His mother was Roman Catholic. Wow, I'm really surprised. So he has no problem hiring a guy who put out a song called Cop Killer to play it. He has no problem hiring him, Tracy, to play a cop on Law & Order SVU. What's going on here? Here's more lyrics from Tracy. KKK Bitch from the first Body Count album, where he fantasizes about going down to Georgia on tour with Body Count and getting with this fine, big tits and ass white girl. Oh, and her daddy's the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Then they go disguised as KKK people, wearing their sheets and hoods. And he has anal sex with her in the middle of the KKK meeting. And he talks about how he fell in love with Tipper Gore's two 12-year-old nieces. So he wants to have sex with 12-year-old white girls. He talks about how they'll have sex with women of any race, as if that's some kind of a virtue. And then in this stanza, he talks about every time they go on tour, they hold orgies, and the white women just can't resist their men, and they've got to get some black lovin' because white men's dicks are too little. And they show them how to really work the white sheets. I know her daddy will really be after me when his grandson's named Little Ice-T. So here we go again with the myth of the big black penis. In all studies where it's measured, they don't come out on top. But the idiots on TMZ always joke about how their dicks are so much bigger. Do these men not realize that you're causing women to be less attracted to you? Either you're too stupid to realize that, or you're gay and you don't care. Here's one last song, Necessary Evil from another Body Count album. Little white kid with a Kool-Aid smile, training wheels on his bike. Thought he called me a nigga. Pushed that little bastard in traffic so graphic he was holding his bike tight. He was an American example of effed up training. When the effing bus connected, he flew like Knievel. I was just necessary evil. In other words, it's better to kill young white children who might display some racism now before they grow up to become adults and have more children and carry out their racist plans holding black people down. So Ice-T complains about racist white people. Then he puts out a video called Talk Shit, Get Shot by Body Count, where anybody who puts down Body Count on Twitter or whatever, they show up in a van. Body Count does. The van opens up and they come out with guns and they kill the white people. And all the people that they kill in this video are white. Yet he complains about racism. Here's Ice-T talking about some rapper named Soulja Boy.
Gator. Fuck Soulja Boy. Eat a dick. This nigga single-handedly killed hip-hop. Soulja Boy, let me talk about Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, I know you're young enough to be my kid, but you single-handedly kill hip-hop, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't fucking from it. All that shit is such garbage. You can't do that, man. We came all the way from Rakim, okay? We came all the way from DOS Effects. Came all the way from motherfuckers flowing.
I don't know what he's talking about here.
Cube, and you come with that Superman shit. That shit's garbage. And Hurricane, take them fucking beads out your fucking hair, kid. Come on, man up, you niggas. Stop bullshitting. You niggas is making me feel real fucking mad about this shit. We took it all the way to khakis and straps, and you niggas look.
I don't know what he's talking about here.
But get your money, man.
Yeah, he's really hardcore, isn't he? He's just so hardcore. And then all of a sudden, he's on Sesame Street. He complains about Soulja Boy, yet he appears with Elmo. And he appears on SVU as a cop. He's such a hypocrite. Now let's look at the cast of Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Here's Mariska Hargitay, daughter of Jane Mansfield. Here's Ice-T playing Finn. That's Tracy. And you notice something about this cast? Huh. Ice-T appears to be the token black guy. Now, Ice-T, he had a baby with a black woman in high school, didn't marry her. He had a baby with an Oriental girl in the 80s, didn't marry her. But then he meets Nicole Austin, a lingerie model with implants all over her body, and he marries her, doesn't he? So I guess he's a human being. We're all human beings, right? We're all human beings. But he's black when he's on SVU. He's the token black guy. He's black when it suits him. He's hardcore when it suits him. But look at Coco's nails. I covered this in an earlier video called More Annoyances. Avoid women with nails like this. There's a higher likelihood that they're unsavory, if you know what I mean. I mean, look at this. Khloe Kardashian has very similar nails to this. Oh, and it's rumored that she had an affair with this guy. But what difference does it make? I don't care. But if a woman has crazy nails like this, you might want to avoid them, because they're probably a coal-burning mud shark. So Ice Tracy complains about racism, and yet he makes videos where he goes and kills white people because they don't like their music. His music videos are filled with sex and violence, the lyrics are horrendous, and yet he appears on Sesame Street with Elmo for your children to look up to him. You should be very concerned. He puts out Cop Killer talking about how much he hates cops and wants to kill them, and then Dick Wolf, who is of a particular ethnic group, gives him a job as a cop, and he's been there on this show since the year 2000, making millions of dollars. He's done nothing for black people except for promoting thug culture. And did he marry a black woman? No, he didn't. Yet he's all for black rights and all this. How they can't succeed in America because we're so racist. I look forward to hearing on the news headlines that Ice-T dies of a heart attack and Coco Austin, this white woman, inherits all of the money. I think that'll be pretty funny.